heavy mom guilt could feel until I traveled without my girls for the first time. Hi, this is Lome by Fran. If you're new, welcome. And today I wanted to talk about something we mothers don't talk so often about or say it aloud: mom guilt. This video is not about giving answers, but about sharing my personal story and how I felt when I was away for only 5 days. And maybe like this, you will feel less alone. Okay, so let's get into the topic, and I would like to share this because I imagine we are all going through the same type of emotions at some point. So this is my very personal story. It was the first time I went to Mexico with my husband, which I believe I was ready for, which I was. I have a 5-year-old almost, which is 4.5, and I have a 15-month-old baby. They're both girls, and we are very lucky to have the support system that we have at home. And we decided to do a little trip to Mexico. We were going for our friend's wedding. So we decided to do this trip because we thought the girls are older enough to be alone and we can enjoy a little bit of this time together. So we went to Mexico for 5 days. If you haven't watched this vlog, I have it here linked so you can go and have a look. It's a pretty cute romantic vlog. If you have seen it, then you realize that I was a little bit, how can I say it, melancholic, yet worried, and also trying to enjoy my trip. So let's start with the story and let's dive into this topic that I'm very passionate about because I know how it feels and I am in it. So I hope you like it. Please follow, give it a thumbs up. Write in the comments, when was the first time you left your children alone? How did you feel? How did you overcome this emotion? Okay, so let's start with the beginning of the story. My husband had a few friends from Mexico and they were getting married, and then he said to me, hey, let's go. I wasn't sure about that, given that we had the baby, and I wasn't sure about leaving them alone. I was still breastfeeding. If you haven't seen my breastfeeding journey as well, I have the link video here, so you can also watch that video. So I decided to wean her off before doing this trip. On this video, I talk about a little bit like in depth. If you want to have a look, there it is. And yeah, I decided to come with him in the end because we also got married in September. We did a civil wedding in Germany and it was very nice. It was very beautiful. And I thought after our wedding, it would be nice to share those moments together. And even though it's only 5 days and we're going to celebrate other people's wedding, it could be a nice experience for both of us for the first time. So we decided to do it, and thank God we have a very nice support system. And my mom and my sister came to help us with the girls, and also our nanny. She is our beautiful nanny that always takes care of the kids when we are working and things like that. After deciding to go, mom and sister came, and I made sure everything was organized and I made sure everything was prepared for them to be with the kids. And I was very excited, actually. I was very, very excited. I was trying to navigate these emotions of happiness, yet of worrisome at the same time, because it was the first time that I did. So I have never been away from my children for more than like 1 day. And this was a very challenging time for me, especially because I struggle with letting go of my role as a mom. So for me, it was like, okay, it's also fine to do a little something for myself and my marriage. So my husband had another philosophy, like he's a little bit more relaxed in these matters. I think he goes away more often, he's working more often, and I, as a homestay mom, I get to be more with the children and have this connection a little bit stronger. And mom guilt is something that I felt many times, not only because I fly away or because I'm not here, but because I go a little bit snappy at them, or because I didn't spend enough time because I'm working, or, little moments in our life, in our days, where we feel a little bit guilty as a mother in general. I want to mention that mom guilt, I think, comes from a place of being perfect or wanting to be there always and never letting down your children. So for me, was a moment where I really enjoyed that freedom that I had, that I could do with my husband. So we decided to go, and the day arrived. We were super excited. We were making luggages. My little girl was helping me, and she was so understanding of what I was doing with my husband. So I was saying to her, hey, we're going to Mexico, and you're going to stay with Nana and with your tita and with your nanny, and everything is going to be fine, and you're going to have a great time, and it's only 5 days. And it was like she was understanding the concept. Of course, she's so small, she doesn't really get the concept of time per se, but she was being very cute about it. So she was like, Mama, you're gonna go to Mexico, and Mama, I'm gonna stay with Tita, and it's gonna be okay, and I'm gonna miss you, but I'm fine. Basically, that was a little bit what she gave. As the day went by before we left, she gave me that feeling that she will be okay. And then that made me feel less worried and more confident and happy, about this journey. So maybe many of you don't have this feeling. Maybe you guys, get to go traveling and feel super secure and super sure about it, and you enjoy yourself as much as you can, and then you come back home and it's happy days. But in my case, as the first time, it was quite difficult. So if you're dealing with that, I get you. You're not alone. We are all on the same boat when we become mothers, and there are so many emotions and so many things that we go through, especially if something is for the first time. So our first times in everything being a mom can be very challenging. So yeah, let's continue with the story. So we decided then to go. The day arrived. We hop on the plane and we left to Mexico. I was feeling very excited, very happy, very connected to my husband. We had the feeling that we were like before children, and it was very beautiful. We had the flight, we arrived, the hotel was super cute. Again, if you haven't seen this video, it's over here, and it's my vlog from the trip. So go and have a look if you like. Once we were there, I felt very far away from the kids, although I was always in touch. I was always saying, Mommy's here. I was always calling. I think I called maybe twice a day, something like this, obviously because we had time difference. But when I was going to bed, I called them. When I woke up, I called them, and in between I was talking to my sister and asking how's everything. And everything was going well. For the first day was going well when we traveled. Prior that week, I received a message from her kindergarten that there was some stomach virus happening, and it was okay for the week we were there before we left. But of course, after we left, on the same day, I think on the next day, my big girl, my eldest, started vomiting. Yes, she's starting vomiting. So she got the virus. I was at the party when this phone call happened, and I was having a great time. I was actually enjoying myself, far away, meeting people, talking to people. My husband was playing at the party, and it was amazing, and I was like having a good time. Then my mother called me. It was like around 11:30 Mexico time, and then my little girl was crying, and she was saying, Mommy, I'm vomiting. Mommy, where are you? Mommy, I need you. Stuff like this, where obviously my heart was like, baby, you're gonna be okay. And I felt really sad that I couldn't help her in the moment. That happened. I don't know if you had these situations where you are going away and all of these things happens and you're like, it's out of your control, but you still feel this guilt that you can't be there for them, especially if they call you crying and, with all of these emotions that make you feel quite bad about it. Saying this, my head obviously stopped having fun. Stop having fun. My head was like, okay, I need to go home. I need to call them again. I need to see how they're doing. And I started to try to control the situation where it was really not in my hands to control because I wasn't here. I wasn't with them. My sister and my mom took care of her. Everything was under control. And I got a little bit more relaxed when I knew that she was okay and she wasn't vomiting so much. But then my mother got sick and then my mom had to rest. And then, of course, it went all over the house. So at some point on the wedding day, this beautiful wedding day that we attend to, they called me and they said that the baby was sick and she has vomited like 4 times. I don't know if you guys want to hear this story about this stomach virus, but this happened a lot, with kids and in kindergarten. So if you know, you know. And we all went through it. So for me, it was very tough when I got to the baby because baby can dehydrate super quick and you have to be very on point with them, giving them water, electrolytes, keep an eye on them the whole time because it can be dangerous when babies are dealing with all of this symptoms. So when my mother told me she was sick, I felt extremely sad that I could not be with her. It was actually the first time she got sick on her tummy and that she was like, dealing with so much pain. Her stomach was aching and she was crying and I would call and I would hear her crying. So it can get so frustrating as a mom to hear your child crying and not help. Although it was only a stomach virus, although my parents were there, although she had plenty of love, for me was the hardest situation. I said to my husband, I regret coming here, because these things happen and they're out of our control, but my brain wants to keep control of it. Of course, I was like trying to talk to her over the phone. I was trying to tell my mother what to do, where is everything. They were like, where is this and where is that, and tell me this and how can we do, and la 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 la, and give me the phone number of the doctors, give me, which I prior did, but I was on the phone the whole morning. I was flying back home, so my flight wasn't very relaxing, although I could disconnect because we didn't have any type of connection. I said, look, I am not going to be able to connect. You just have to do this, to do that, in case something happened, right? So with babies, I think you just have to be more aware that at any time you got to go to the hospital because they need to be intervened, help them hydrate. So yeah, that was my trip. 5 days where 3 days were basically it was a very short, compact trip. So it was flying, wedding, flying back. So basically, it was a very short trip. I barely felt it. We did have fun. We did enjoy it. But mom guilt is something that I had since day one and since I knew my kids were sick. It didn't help anything. Like, the only thing that helped me was to come home and see them and hug them and give her a kiss and see that she was doing good, which she was, it was just my head and it was just all these emotions and feelings. And again, I said to my husband, why are we here? Why did I leave them? And then I'm thinking, how is it possible that I feel guilty about this when it's not in my control? So this is a little bit of a deeper conversation, but what is God trying to tell me? Let go of situations you cannot control. Give yourself some credit. Be kind to yourself. Deliver more. Trust God more. And is the only thing I can tell you guys today is, if you feel that guilt is completely normal, and I feel it, I felt it, and I have many times said, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? But it's also okay if you put yourself first. It's also okay if you put your relationship or your marriage first. It doesn't mean that you love less your children, but it means that it will give you so much to you and so much value, and you can be a better mother, and you can have a better relationship and teach them that space can also be sacred in a couple with kids. So one day they will also do it. They will see you guys doing beautiful trips together sometimes, and they will learn that, and they want to also do that at some point in their lives. So I think our children, they learn a lot from what they see, and if they see you as a mama taking care of yourself, they will learn it and they will follow those steps. Other side, my eldest, she was very, very sad I was away. She was very emotional. She didn't eat well. She didn't sleep well. She was calling me. She was having nightmares. She didn't have a good time. They both are very attached to me, but I never expected her to be so sad about me being away, which made me feel even more guilty. Now that the week has passed since we arrived, and we obviously together enjoying family time and everything, she said, Mommy, I miss you. Mommy, I don't want you to leave anymore. And for her little brain, it's difficult to understand when the mother and why the mother is away. But I think they also need to learn these emotions, and they also need to go through it and understand that Mommy is always coming back. So yeah, this is the video about this topic. And again, I want you to know that mom guilt is something that we all feel, and it's okay to feel it, and it's so legitimately, and it's so empowering to talk about it. And I obviously feel and felt weak, and I felt pointless, and I felt like helpless, and I felt that the trip wasn't worth it because my kids were sick, but it wasn't also life-threatening, So it was just a simple stomach virus that I felt I shouldn't have been there, and I wasn't, and that made me feel very, very sad. I also had to overcome it. I also have to delegate, and I also have to trust the people they are with my kids, and just wait until I'm with them. I was away. I was flying in the sky. Like, I couldn't do anything else. So I had to come to terms with that thought and pray and talk to God about it and just give it to Him. And yeah, it helped, of course. And I hope it's helping you to connect to your own emotions and helping you to understand that this is completely normal. If you're a first-time mother, I get it. I have felt this so many times with my babies. How do you actually deal with it? I would like to know about it. Write me in the comments. What are your techniques when something at home is happening? Why is your go-to formula that you can recenter and you can go back to yourself and don't feel this amount of guilt? For me, is to sit with the guilt and to pray and continue what I'm doing. But I have to say, it was very, very difficult. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe, share this with any mother who needs it. See you on the next video.